Welcome to the public hearings for the Legislative Assembly Economy and Infrastructure Committee's inquiry into Victorian University's investment in skills. What stage is the Victorian Skills Authority at in developing the Victorian Skills Plan?
We have undertaken the consultation process as you've indicated. We are in the final stages of wrapping up that feedback.
What has been the role of university and industry in developing the Victorian Skills Plan?
We have sought to engage far and wide. Within the Victorian Skills Authority, we work with 10 formal industry advisory groups. 50% of the solution as far as skills are concerned is coming from our universities. So we'll set up more deliberative structures with them for the next year.
The 22-23 budget committed some funding for review of clinical placement activity, and will the review look at reducing or eliminating clinical placement fees in Victoria's public facilities?
Whether we'll completely eliminate it or not, I think will be contingent on broader conversations with the Commonwealth around funding reform opportunities. So that will certainly be on the agenda.
What's the role of micro-credential courses in developing the workforce skills that Victoria needs?
One of the really critical things I'd say here is that it's not about just short, stackable, speed to market content. It's where industry has been co-designed, because then they respect it. It's where it's quality and can be linked to an ongoing qualification, and where it can be delivered in a flexible way that enables workforces to really maximise the use.
How can we start to address some of those shortages in the rural and regional areas?
Exposure to what the opportunities are and creating those stronger pathways that a student can say, hey, I can stay here, I can train locally, and I can then continue to live locally and make my life locally. I think that's something that we need to be able to do, and I think it's to be able to show what the linkages are from when you leave school to what you can do in your local region. And that may well be that it's a combination of vocational learning or higher education learning that's made available in new ways in those regions.
How could the Victorian Skills Authority support increased collaboration between universities and TAFEs, including to provide clearer pathways across vocational education and higher education?
What we need to be able to do is to be able to make sure that the learning in vocational education and training is almost automatically recognised as credit as you go into higher education. That's not quite the case at the moment.
How have the universities themselves contributed to the development of existing workforce development strategies, and how can they better contribute in the future?
I think in terms of future opportunities, the health workforce strategy that we're about to develop will be an important platform to drive forward reform and improvement.
Do you have any insight on the timelines of that work and the development of the health workforce strategy?
The intention is that we'll have a working draft just before the election, but the focus within that strategy will be on supply. So how do we have sustainable supply and respond to the shortages we're facing? Capability, so that's around new workforce models, and then wellbeing.
What opportunities are there for improved collaboration between universities and industry?
There is no success without deeper engagement with industry and business. I think the opportunity is there for universities and TAFEs together to leverage those relationships better, rather than individually trying to go out and sustain those. And I think government can play a role in facilitating and brokering that.